Post 9/11 jail. It's like if your service was, it's like 3 years of active service after 9/11.
I got out in 1999. I'm old.
Yeah. Never mind. Yeah, but if it's after 9/11 and you had like 3 years of active service, it's just, you don't have to. You get pretty much the same amount of money, but like you get like a book stipend, and like you don't have to certify your enrollment every month.
Oh, yeah.
So.
Okay, so let us start the class. How was her class? You enjoy her class?
Mm-hmm. Yes.
Yeah, thank you. Thanks for taking care of my 2 classes.
No problem. I think half the class is still on spring break.
Oh, really? That's okay. So you guys have any question regarding about the Ravana traditions? Not much. After we talk about the Mahayana tradition, I will give you the chart that compare the difference between these 2 traditions. Okay, so today we talk about Mahayana traditions. Some aspect that we talked before, but we can see. Okay, first, please, Buddhahood, what do you have?
Okay. Mahayana Buddhists consider Buddhahood to be a universal and innate property of absolute wisdom.
Yeah.
A common Theravada and Mahayana Buddhist belief is that the next Buddha will be Maitreya.
Yeah, Maitreya Bodhisattva.
The Mahayana Buddhists believe that to become an arhat is achieved by a different path than to become a bodhisattva. Someone who wants to devote their lives to attaining their own enlightenment as their only focus is considered an arhat. A person who wants to obtain their own enlightenment but also help others to find their enlightenment is a bodhisattva. The Mahayana traditionalists believe the path of the arhat is mundane and self-centered, and they believe that ultimate compassion for others is and the desire to end suffering is the ethically and spiritually superior path.
So basically,
the focus is compassion, and compassion for all sentient beings. So there's twin virtues. One is wisdom and one is compassion.
yeah, okay.
And that's the most important part, I think.
So yeah, so what do you understand about this one, Buddhahood?
Okay, so for Buddhahood, there's 10 perfections that have 10 stages of attainment that kind of correspond to each other. And it's said that once a bodhisattva reaches level 7, he or she is capable of becoming a Buddha. And that means they can appear anywhere at will. And the 10 perfections are important because they lead to the path of Buddhahood and get the bodhisattva closer to the characteristics of a Buddha. There's also 10 characteristics listed of the Buddha.
Okay. So the next, number 2, right? Number 2, we will talk more about this, but here. Now here, remember in Buddha, especially the Mahayana traditions, it's always mentioned about what we call Buddha nature. We discussed about that, right? Or enlightened nature, awakened nature, or good nature, whichever names you label, right? So everyone else, or even, I told you, right, the pets, right? They have good nature, right? When you go home, they jump on you, right? They treat you. When they are hungry, so they can try to pat you so that you can find some food for them, right? They have this nature, not talking about human. So that's so important because of this nature, because of this seed. And eventually, if we can develop, we will attain to Buddhahood or become a Buddha. So that's the difference between Buddhism and other traditions. Everyone can achieve to that level of Buddha. So any paths, any techniques that enhance, that help us to achieve this goal. This is the goal for the Buddhists to achieve to. Of course, it's long journey, but business the goal for Mahayana Buddhism. So we accept that. Remember, we talk about samsara, right? Right. Heaven heaven, human, animal, hell, ghost, fighting ghost. So as long as we still have anger, attachment, so forth, we still revolve in this kind of samsara, right? And in order to get out of this cycle, we need to work on the what we call Bodhisattva path that we want to talk today and Wednesday too, until we can get out like this spaceship, right? You need a lot of energy, right, to get out the Earth orbit, the Earth gravitation. So it's need a lot of work in order to get out of this kind of cycle, this kind of gravitation. And this is for the traveler, the goal is to get out, that's all. I'm free. I don't have any suffering to be born, let's say human. Right? Because sooner or later we have to encounter this kind of problems. Last week.
So that doesn't go in a circle, right? It can be like heaven is the top and hell is the bottom, and then there either side you could be on.
You're on either, whether you're up here or you're down here, you're still in the cycle. You're still in the cycle until you get out.
You're asking there's no specific order.
Right.
No specific order, no. You can go up and down. Like this in life, right? Sometimes you can be professional, sometimes you can be worker. Right? So fluctuation, that's fluctuation is happening in lives. Sometimes we're rich, sometimes we're poor, right? Sometimes we have power, sometimes we're powerless, and so forth. Right? Sometimes that's the reason why it depends on our karma. Sometimes we're up here, sometimes we're down here. But nothing lasts forever. That's the point. This is the permanence. So the goal for, remember I mentioned many times, the goal for the Theravada practitioner is get out and you're free. Otherwise, you will be sick. You will go again and again. This is samsara. Let me tell you a story. Just last week, one professor he come to our monastery to do meditation every Tuesday evening from 5:30 to 6:30. He brought with him his brother-in-law, whose mother just passed away. Yet he is so suffer because of that passing away of his mother. So he came to talk to me, and they say that according to Buddhist view, there's a hope to see your past relative again, but in different form. I told to you before, right? Did I? Why? Because we revolve in this samsara, this cycle. Because everything you see is revolved in the cycle. Energy never lasts. It just transforms from one form to others. So let's say if someone passes away here in human realms, if they still have good connection with us, or if they have good karma in human realm, they may be back, but in different forms. That's hopes. That may relieve this, the suffering, the painful feeling toward the diseased relatives. You understand that? If what happens if you think, oh, my relatives, let's say go up to heaven or go down to hell forever, I don't have that chance to see them anymore. You understand that? So of course, it's just belief of the incarnation. It's up to you to believe or not, get your choice. But and things is more reasonable because things go around, get in the cycle, and so does the soul. So I try to explain to him, and of course it's not easy to detach to the lovely one, but nothing we can do when they done with their life. Nothing we can do, but of course we look for the next life. We look for a different life, but with the similar energy, similar affection. You understand that? Similar connection with us. So that I told him, there's a hope there. You will see your mom. You see your lovely mom. Sometimes somewhere in the future in the different forms. You understand that? Right, so that's what I try to explain to you. And for the arhat, for the Theravada monks or the Theravada practitioner, all thing they want to do is just get out. But for the Mahayana practitioner, not only they get out of this cycle, but they come back and have the sentient being to get out with them, to be free from suffering. That's the ultimate goal. And ultimate goal is to become Buddha, to have all kind of abilities, including wisdom, to help people to get out of suffering. Remember, if, let's say, 10 years from now, or 20 years from now, you may not remember anything that I taught, but please remember, Buddhism, the Buddha, the purpose of his teaching is to transform this one, suffering into happiness. That's the main purpose of his teaching. That's all. That's all. You just remember that. Whatever thing you may I explain, you may forget, but listen, please. That's the main purpose of the teaching. Transform. Of course, we talk about this, right? Physical suffering we cannot handle our life when we are 100 years old. But mentally, even that old age, we can handle if we know how to transform. If we know, let's say, meditation. You understand that? So that's the tools the Buddha help us to transform ourselves from suffering to happiness. And as long as we're still here, we go with the flow. We go with the wave, right? Sometimes we happy, sometimes we sad, sometimes we depressed, and so forth. We go with the flow here. But if you want to have eternal happiness, get out and be free, like our heart. But that's for Theravada tradition. But on the top of that, especially in Mahayana tradition, your goal is not need to get out, but to become Buddha, so that you can have any sentient beings that relate to you. Yes?
So to get out of the cycle, you have to attain enlightenment?
Yeah, definitely.
And by getting out of the cycle, does that mean that you'll never have rebirth again? You'll just...
You have a choice.
That's your last life. Oh,
Yeah,
okay.
you have a choice. That's why in Mahayana tradition, you have the choice. When you get out, let's say, let me put it this way. Remember I told you about Nirvana? Right? Nirvana, right? What's mean by Nirvana? Remember? We talked about that, right? What's mean? Remember?
Getting out of the circle, the
Of
cycle.
course, but what is meaning of Nirvana?
Enlightenment.
Enlightenment, what else?
Is it free of suffering?
Free suffering, and what else?
Attachments, free from attachment.
Free from the mental fluctuation. That's the state of mind. Not the place, but the state of mind. You don't have any more attachment. You don't have any more anger. Make sense? So when you have I gave you many analogy, right? If you don't have an attachment to cigarette, when you stop by at the gas station, you won't need to pay attention on it, right? But if you attach a cigarette or alcohol when you stop by, while you're pumping the gas, you order some. Is that right?
Yep.
Simple. Simple like this. If you don't have attachment, you be free. That's all. But it's not easy. Is that right? So we have you up this kind of habitual patterns for limitless lifetimes in this samsara, and it's not easy to break it down. So whoever can break it, like to be free from attachment, to be free from anger, that's the state of nirvana there. So they can come and go freely. They don't have any attachment. So they can have use any kind of psychic power and so forth to help people. And that's the goal of Mahayana tradition. Does that make sense? Right? Yeah, so that's why the Buddha wants us to develop in the fully way. Remember, the important point that the Buddha mentioned is everyone has this kind of good nature. It's still different from other Asian, right? When you're born, you have a sin. Is that right? You have to be baptized. You have to be saved. Okay. But in Buddhism, that's different. When you're born, you have that good nature. Is it different? right? It's like black and white. Because of that good nature, you can develop in a full way. Let's say, why you go to school? To get degree. Is that right? But of course, not everyone go to school to have a BA or MA or PhD degree. Some of them they will fail, some of them they will be successful, but they have potential to get degree. Is that right? Yes?
You say in religion, your religion, when a baby's born, they are like in heaven?
Not in heaven, but they have the good nature.
Nirvana?
No, not yet.
Okay, that's
Not
right.
yet.
Yeah,
Let me
yeah.
clarify. Why do we protect children? Because they're innocent. Is that right?
Okay.
Is that right?
Yeah.
They're innocent, and but of we're not innocent. Our mind is so deluded, right? With all kind of things. They are innocent because they have good nature there. Is that right? Make sense?
Mm-hmm.
So that's the reason why even later on next week we started by Zen tradition, and many monks encourage their followers. You need to practice in the innocent way as a children. What's it? Do you come back to be a children, a little child? No. You keep your mind in that state of mind, the innocent state of mind. There's no more. I mean that you can transform your mind from analytical thinking into a non-judgmental thought. You understand that? That's called innocent. Is that right? So that's because they have good nature there. We go back to good nature. Like I told you that the water, right? In order to drink water, this has been purified through many processes, right? Otherwise, we could not drink, right? So that's pure water. Is what we call good nature in ourselves there. Make sense? Is that clear? Okay. And one thing I want to mention too. Okay, here, this 10 characteristics of Buddha. Buddha as supreme man, human. That's a belief too, or Buddha just as human. Doesn't matter whether they believe or not, or that's up to the followers or supreme mundane Buddha. That's the next question. That's the next topic we will talk about. And before I move on, let me tell you. Actually, I'm supposed to tell you early, but now it's okay. According to Mahayana tradition, what they call the Buddha has what they call 3 body, Dhammakaya body. This is a question. The question is that okay, after the Buddha passed away, where does this go? And this is what we call 3 bodies theories. You know that theories can explain that kind of phenomena. Alright, so according to Buddhism, especially Mahayana Buddhism, the Buddha has what we call Dhammakaya, or the true body, and even us, even every sentient being has this kind of true body too. But the Buddha, they have achieved that level already. And the next one is Shambhala, or body of mutual enjoyment. With a body is a bliss or clear manifestation. That means because of their practice throughout many lifetimes, they achieve, we can say that they have psychic power and so forth. Understand that? Right. And the last one is in Nimakaya, a great body which manifests in time and space. That means they have ability to transform in any form that can teach sentient beings. They can transform into even a dog, the cat, human, a baby, manager, and so forth to teach people, to teach sentient beings. So that is these 3 bodies. So come back to the question: when the Buddha physically passed away, where did he go? So according to the Mahayana views, he still lived with this kind of true body, and he could transform in any form that can help sentient beings. Even he done with his body here. It makes sense? And even Bodhisattva, remember we talked about compassionate Bodhisattva, who can transform him or herself here's a horizon to the 32 forms. So again, this is theory that's originated to in the Pali tradition too. Right. Is that clear? Okay. Yeah. Okay. So let's just move on now. So you see that's that's why, since we have that potential, since we have that seed, that's why we could have ability to develop ourselves in the fully way, in the fully enlightened one, in the fully awakening one. Like just give you an example, right? We have ability, right? We have potential to get PhD degree, but not everyone, right? Just only certain people who put more effort or who have more time or plus more wisdom to achieve to that level. Make sense? But we have that potential. We have that seed, right? Okay, let's go back. Let's go to number 2. What do you have? Yes. What's different?
Well, there's the only main difference is the view of the afterlife. But what I love about it is all the similarities, because whenever you compare Buddha to like Jesus, their teachings are basically almost the same. They're about selflessness, and they both teach the Golden Rule. And I found this book which I really like, and it's called Living Buddha, Living Christ. And in it there is an actual quote from a Buddhist monk. I think his name is Nhat Hanh. And he said that when you are a truly happy Christian, you are also a Buddhist, and vice versa.
It's just name, right? Just label and just the names, and that's why in Buddhist view, remember I told you, especially in Mahayana Buddhist view, we see like Jesus Christ, Mother Teresa. I told you, right? Martin Luther King. They are great Bodhisattva who had people who sacrificed their life for others. So we include whoever sacrificed their life for others. And of course, depend upon mentality, depend upon tradition, right? Depend upon custom of certain era, right? Certain society, we need to follow with that kind of norms. You understand that? So probably in the West, for 1,000 years, right? People get used of the teaching of Jesus Christ, right? But now they can learn and see there's a lot of similarities. Of course, if we study in the profound way, there's a lot some kind of differences too. We cannot deny that. But this is our choice, right? It's like we have all kind of foods, right? Pizza, dry and so forth, right? So it is up to us. We pick up the thing that's more suitable for our body, or more suitable for our mentality and mind too, and spiritual life too. So, and so you see a lot of similarity. How about the differences?
Like I said, the huge difference is like the view of afterlife. Like the God and Jesus, there's not that cycle. There's not a cycle. You either go to heaven or hell. So that's really the biggest difference that I've noticed.
So probably this one, huh? Okay, yeah. So this in Buddhism, or even in the Islam, right, tradition, you have this vertical line only, right? But in Buddhism, everything is in the cycle. Right? So this is different. And later on, especially later on, the Mahayana idea to view Buddha as the supreme one, that he could transform anything. But let me point out the little bit difference too. The differences between the Buddha or God, that he doesn't punish people. He doesn't punish the criminals. I don't know whether I mentioned this or not. In our temple, we have what you call the Dharma protector or bodyguard, right? The one who protected the temple spiritually. So that whoever make the mistake in the temple, for example, according to Buddhist view, that Dharma protector, they have the job to take care of that criminal or that people, not Buddha. You understand that? So because why? Buddha treat everyone equally, whether they good or bad, whether they are criminals or good people, he treat them equally. There's some story, but I don't know whether I have time to talk about that or not. But that's the idea.
That's
Yeah.
interesting.
Yeah. So Buddha never punished anyone, except the Dharma protector or Bodhisattva who made that vows to protect Buddhist temple or Buddhist people. So that's the idea. Okay. All right. So let me see. And yeah, next. I mean that on Wednesday we talk about it. I think we talked before too. The Pure Land traditions, right? So in Western traditions, God can save you, right, to the heaven, right? So there is the Pure Land tradition. We touched that last time, right? Is that similarity? And we talked about that. Okay, let's go to number 3. Mahayana ideals of generosity. Yes, what do you have?
Well, I said that devout Buddhists, of course, don't have very many physical possessions, but they give and share what they can, usually through teaching. And bodhisattvas, of course, those who are attained enlightenment but choose not to pass on to their final nirvana so they can teach and help others. So in a way, they give up their own becoming a Buddha for the sake of others. And the word, is it dana or dana?
Dana.
Dana.
Yeah.
Means generosity or giving. It is one of the 6 perfections Mahayana Buddhists seek to achieve. To achieve this perfection, Buddhists must cultivate dana by giving without the expectation of reward or just to feel good about doing so. When teaching, most Buddhists would say that the greatest reward for them is to see their students apply what they have been taught. Also, oftentimes lay people will repay or exchange food for teachings or spiritual assistance, but monks never ask or require food payment.
Yeah. Okay. What do you have then?
Oh, I did number 10.
Oh, you have, sorry. Okay. Okay. Who else? Who else does this number 3? That's okay. Now, thank you. So what do you find? Well, is there any difference in Buddhist generosity and non-tradition or similar?
Well, I didn't look so much at a comparison-wise, but from what I know about, Christianity is, of course, in church for a lot of Christians, they will accept money and whatnot. I don't think monasteries today, the actual monks don't take the money themselves.
We take the money. They put donation.
Yeah.
In the box. They put, I don't know whether I show you the death of the loaves. Remember? Then on the video clips, the other monks they go out beg for food, but for us we stay at the monastery. So when they have special event, so they come to the monastery and put the donation in the donation box. Yeah. Of course, sometimes people donate money to me directly too. I said that was used for the purpose of my running the temple. Yeah. So don't mess up with that.
Yeah. I didn't really look into comparisons or anything. So.
Okay. Now, let me put it this way. Okay. You understand, right? When we talk about generosity, this whole spectrum of practice, right? You can give material, right, to other people, right? Like money, food, and so forth, right? And of course, you can support them mentally, like your parents, whoever, right? You can give them advice, how to handle life, how to handle their stress, and so forth. You have spiritual support, like go to the church or temple. So these are the 3 main practice of generosity, right? But like you mentioned, what you call here, let me see here, giver. It's not just in here. Giver. You can see. Okay, giver, receiver, and between the gifts. Right? Is that right? Empty, right? Okay.
Mhm.
Yes.
Okay, so you are giver, and you have.
Post 9/11 jail. It's like if your service was, it's like 3 years of active service after 9/11.
I got out in 1999. I'm old.
Yeah. Never mind. Yeah, but if it's after 9/11 and you have like 3 years of active service, you're good. It's just you don't have to. You get pretty much the same amount of money, but like you get like a book stipend, and like you don't have to certify your enrollment every month.
Oh, yeah.
So.
Okay, so let us start the class. How was her class? You enjoy her class?
Yes.
Yeah. Thank you. Thanks for taking care of my 2 classes.
And traditionalists believe the path of the Arhat is mundane and self-centered, and they believe that ultimate compassion for others is the desire to end suffering is the ethically and spiritually superior path.
So basically,
The focus is compassion and compassion for all sentient beings. So there's twin virtues. One is wisdom and one is compassion,
yeah. Okay.
and that's the most important part, I think.
So yeah. So what do you understand about this one? Buddhahood.
Okay, so for Buddhahood, there's 10 perfections. Buddhists consider Buddhahood to be a universal and innate property of absolute wisdom.
Yeah.
A common Theravada and Mahayana Buddhist belief is that the next Buddha will be Maitreya.
Yeah, Maitreya Bodhisattva.
The Mahayana Buddhists believe that to become an Arhat is achieved by a different path than to become a Bodhisattva. Someone who wants to devote their lives to attaining their own enlightenment as their only focus is considered an Arhat. A person who wants to obtain their own enlightenment but also help others to find their enlightenment is a Bodhisattva. A Mahayana, no problem.
I think half the class is still on spring break.
Oh really? That's okay. So you guys have any question regarding about the Theravada traditions? Not much. After we talk about the Mahayana tradition, I will give you the chart that compare the difference between these 2 traditions. Okay, so today we talk about Mahayana traditions. Some aspect that we talked before, but with this. Okay, first, please, Buddhahood, what do you have?
Okay. Mahayana that have 10 stages of attainment that kind of correspond to each other. And it said that once a bodhisattva reaches level 7, he or she is capable of becoming a Buddha. And that means they can appear anywhere at will. And the 10 perfections are important because they lead to the path of Buddhahood and get the bodhisattva closer to the characteristics of a Buddha. There's also 10 characteristics listed of the Buddha.
Okay. So the next, number 2, right? Number 2, we will talk more about this, but here. Now here, remember in Buddha, especially the Mahayana traditions,